Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on Challengers. Now, this was a film which I was pretty looking forward to. You guys may remember my trailer reaction to this one from actually some time ago now. I think it was back in June, because of course this film was originally going to be released way earlier. I remember hearing it when this movie was going to be coming out August 11th, and then the movie got delayed to September 15th. I remember September 15th being this movie's release date. I remember it was when I reacted to the first trailer for it, and that was back when the movie was scheduled to be releasing September 15th. But of course then the strikes happened in Hollywood, and they delayed the movie by months. They delayed it all the way to April 26th. Yeah, we were supposed to get this film last autumn, and finally out now after all this time. And I went to see it for myself. And I was looking forward to it because I said the trailers for it. I thought they looked very good from the trailer, so I was looking forward to it, and I was hearing really good reviews for it, so I hoped for a good time with it. And now that I seen the movie for myself, what did I think? In my opinion, I actually loved this film. I'm not gonna lie. This was actually a pretty great movie, in my opinion. I honestly had a great time with this film. Now, to get into my thoughts on the movie, start things off, the cinematography in this film, oh man, I feel like I could go on about the cinematography in this movie all day. I really love the way that the movie is shot. It was quite a few different kind of shots throughout the film. There's a panning shot where pans over to another part of the area. Shot where it was the camera was going back and forth between two different characters. Really kind of reminded me of Damien Chazelle's kind of cinematography style. Really reminded me of a few scenes from Babylon in that aspect. And I also mentioned, I really liked the way that these tennis matches were being shot. We even get a few shots from the ball's perspective, and oh man, I love it when the movie does that. Yeah, it's really interesting. I really like it when the movie does that. There's a whole bunch of different kind of styles of cinematography in the movie, and yeah, I honestly think that it is really good. I really like the way that the movie is shot overall. with it kind of being like different styles a lot of the time. So I think the cinematography in this movie is great. Now as for the editing in this film, I think the editing in the movie is quite good. I like the way the movie is edited. Not as strong as the cinematography in my opinion, but I still think it's very good editing. Not like cutting back between like different time stuff. Like I mean, thankfully the movie like the lets you know like when there's like a time jump. Yeah, it does a good job at like kind of tell you like when these different time jumps are happening and stuff. Yeah, it's honestly very good in my opinion. So yeah, I think the editing overall is very solid. Um, this is the pacing in this movie now. This is actually a rather long enough film with this being 2 hours and 11 minutes, but I'm gonna be honest, however, I actually didn't really feel the runtime. Like, I mean, like, despite how long the movie was, like, it was not really a film where I felt the runtime. Like, I felt like the movie kind of had enough going on in it. It had a pretty engrossing story, so yeah, I feel like I was a bit too engaged with the film to kind of really sort of, bother about the runtime. Yeah, like it was honestly very good pacing in my opinion. It didn't really feel like as long of a film as it did. So I think it honestly did a very good job with its pacing. So yeah, the pacing in this film overall was very good. As for the sounds and music in this movie, now I gotta say, I honestly love the soundtrack in this film, man. Like I mean, like it's been noticed by quite a few people. Like the soundtrack in this movie, it's loud. Like I mean, the way that they play the music, kind of very loud. All right. That may be a little annoying for some people. I know one reviewer in particular who was very annoyed by that. Yeah, if you're watching this video, you know who you are. But honestly, I wasn't really bothered by it because it was honestly a really good soundtrack. I'm not gonna lie. I was constantly bobbing my head. I was quite a few times out of the way I was just kind of bobbing my head to the score, and yeah, I feel like it really helped in kind of getting me engrossed in this story, and these characters, and honestly, it was a great score in my opinion. Um, so yeah, the sound and music in this film really loud, but honestly, I think it was great. Um, so now we get to the characters and the performances from the cast. Now really we have kind of just three main characters in the movie. Like every other character in this film is kind of just a way smaller kind of character. Like it's these three characters in particular who like the film is always following. So starting off with Tashi, I found Tashi to be like a really entertaining character. Like, she was compelling. Like, I engrossed in her character, and yeah, in terms of performance, Zendaya was honestly fantastic in this movie. I mean, she was definitely the standout of the cast here. Like, she was honestly very good in this role. I think she fit this role perfectly, honestly. Yeah, she was a very good character, and I loved her performance from Zendaya. Um, then we have her husband Art. I found Art a solid character. Like, I mean, like, I felt like from our focus we did get of his character, he was engaging enough. Yeah, honestly, I really liked his character. I really liked his like whole dynamic with Tashi and Patrick. I thought he was a very interesting character. He definitely had some great scenes. Mike Fast, he was honestly very good in the role. I thought he was really good in this performance. And then we have Patrick, Tashi's ex-boyfriend, who meets up with her and Art. Patrick was a good character as well. The movie definitely dedicated a lot of screen time to his character and basically his whole part of the story. Yeah, I found he was kind of an interesting character as well. I do think Josh O'Connor did a very good performance. So yeah, I thought he was a good character. So yeah, all three of these characters were very good, and I think the acting from all three of them, especially from Zendaya, were very good. I really liked the dynamic that these three had. They honestly worked off each other really well. So yeah, the characters and the acting were very good. Um, so we have the plot of the movie. Now the plot of this film is, it's definitely an interesting one. It's like these two guys, their it was kind of their story about how they were attracted to the same girl, how that kind of ruined their friendship, and like how like years later they come together again for like like a new tennis match. I feel it's like a very kind of character driven plot on these three characters and their kind of whole relationship with each other, and that's basically what carries this whole film. And I think the movie does a really good job of like working off of that, because even if they're not exactly the most likable people, like their whole dynamic, the way they work off each other, it's done very well, honestly. I think it really helps make this narrative so interesting. Um, like even when the film is like constantly jumping back between different time periods, it's still an easy story to follow along to. I didn't really feel like confused at any points. Like I was able to follow along with the story, and I thought it was an interesting idea what the film did, and it really brought you into these characters. Yeah, I honestly thought it was a very well done plot. Like it has an interesting concept, and I think they honestly really did a very good job with it. Like the approach that they went with, it worked very well. And there was some solid comedy here. I did find a few parts kind of funny. So I think the plot of the movie was very good. It had a good premise. And I found it interesting the way they decided to approach it. It was interesting and it was done very well. It worked really well. So the plot of the movie was very good. Now in terms of the narrative structure, now the thing with the narrative is um, we're kind of focusing on on both of these boys, Patrick and Art. We're kind of seeing their relationship with Tashi and how it kind of affects their relationship with each other. I think it's a well done narrative. We get our moments with Patrick and Tashi and our moments with Art and Tashi. We kind of see all three of them as people and what they're like. It does a really good job of getting you invested in these characters, and obviously the thing with this movie is that um it's not actually told in order of events, because the thing about the film is that it's actually constantly jumping back between different points in time. We'll start at a certain point, then go back to some time before the past, then go to some time before the present events, then go back to another further time in the past. I thought it was an interesting approach. I know this could probably be annoying for some people. I can see why some people might find it a bit annoying, but honestly, I didn't really mind it because I found it an interesting approach. I wasn't very confused by it. I was honestly able to follow along with the story and become invested in the characters. Made me see what was gonna happen. Yeah, I thought it kind of really gave the film that extra bit of flair. It was done very well, honestly. I thought it was honestly a well done narrative. Even if it wasn't being told in order, it was done well, and I know it might not work for everybody, but honestly, I think it worked well for me. So yeah, I think the narrative structure in this film is very good, despite the movie not having the most cohesive, the most linear narrative with it constantly jumping back and forth in time. Nonetheless, I actually do think it was an interesting idea that they approached, and I thought they honestly did a great job with it, making me care about what was going on and getting invested in the story. And that was the main goal it needed to achieve, and it achieved that. So yeah, the narrative structure was great. So yeah, overall, I loved Challengers. Yeah, I thought this was a great film. I thought the hype leading up to the film was pretty much worth it. It had great cinematography, great music, great pacing, very good characters, very good performances. I thought it did a really good job with just this premise. It had a good premise, but I really liked the way that they approached it. It was done very well, and it made me invested in the story and in the characters. So yeah, I think it was done very well. Even if the movie was constantly cutting back and forth, I think they did it very well. Now, I don't think this movie will be for everyone, but me personally, this pretty much lived up to those long months of waiting. It was all worth it in the end. So yeah, this is a great movie. I think it's definitely worth checking out. Like if you're a fan of tennis, if like you want to watch this really interesting love triangle story, like it's if you just want to see like this really interesting take on a premise like this movie is so worth watching for those reasons alone. But yeah, even all aside, this overall is a great film, and I highly recommend checking it out. So with that, I'm going to give Challengers a 9 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.